So, folks, I am very excited because it is debate night in New York City, and I'm ready to watch Zohran Mamdani dog walk these losers. I'm ready to see him absolutely take Cuomo to the mat.
Adult Mutant
I'm
Ninja
ready.
Collection Zohran Mommy Dami.
Let's go, Nathan. Thank you for the $5 dono. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Let's go. I'm so excited. I am
Best
so
moderation
excited.
since the Bobert debate in CO.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well we're gonna be watching this momentarily, but I'll hold that link for us to take a look at as an instant replay. Folks, I'm so excited. We got in one corner, we got Zohran Mamdani. In another middle corner, we've got Andrew Cuomo, loser, disgraced former governor of New York. And then we've got Curtis Lewa, some guy who, wears a beret so often he has a fucking tan line. Is just a weird little guy. And I do want to say, not to spoil anything, but this went up on social media about like 30 minutes ago. And this is from Curtis Lewa.
Everybody agrees Curtis Lewa won that debate tonight.
I actually agree with Curtis on that.
I agree, by the way.
Now it's time, Andrew Cuomo. You're one and done. You lost the primary. You lost the debate to me. Make room for Zohran Mamdani versus Curtis Lewa the next debate. Let the people pick the winner. And after tonight, it's gonna be me.
What a little weird guy. What a weirdo. He's so strange. But look, you can't knock him from getting a nice hot cup of joe after that debate and after his latest Ratman campaign. Because as we all know, Curtis Lewa is a sewer person. He lives in the subterranean alcoves below New York City, fighting the Ratman scourge that threatens to boil up and infest the city's surface world. He's a warrior for the surface worlders, but can he be trusted? Perhaps the Ratmen mean us no harm. Perhaps they are merely fleeing a deeper threat below. Perhaps we could work together with the Ratmen and come to some kind of understanding. This bit is going on too long, and we're gonna keep on going.
The dude is bonkers, but genuinely so.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
Focus group that inanity.
Oh, for sure, Sake Tanuki. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. God.
Danny DeVito type ah.
I mean, he's like a Danny DeVito type if Danny DeVito were, evil. He's like an evil Danny DeVito. Like, he objectively supports, like, terrible and evil policies. But, he's a funny little guy. He's just like a weird little guy. And as long as he's not in charge of anything, it's totally fine that he's just a weird little guy. And he's a weird little guy who lives alone in a cat apartment. And, that's fine. That's fine. Let's jump into this, though, shall we?
Melissa Russo, senior politics editor at Politico.
Oh, yeah.
Sally Goldenberg. And
they got that
47
hardcore Fire Emblem music.
This is a 2-hour debate live on all NBC New York and Telemundo 47 streaming and digital platforms.
Let's go!
Politico.com, Telexitos, and YouTube. The first hour is also live on Channel 4 and Telemundo 47.
Damn, look at how much water they got. That's great. That's a lot of water. Am I wrong in thinking like 4 bottles of water is a lot of water to have on stage? What if Curtis Lewa just drinks them all right away? Like just he's parched from the Ratman Wars. He just drinks all of them, knowing that water is a precious commodity, and then at somewhere around the 1 hour and 30-minute mark, he pisses himself. Like is that too much to ask from this debate?
Making the last place in every mayoral race be the official NYC jester for the administration.
Honestly, I support that policy, Sake Tanuki. Run for mayor. Let's make it happen. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs.
We do have a few rules for the candidates. For traditional question and answer, you'll have 1 minute to respond, and we'll offer 30-second rebuttals at the moderator's discretion. We'll also be asking questions where we will be looking for shorter answers.
Yeah, what if at like the hour 45 mark he starts dancing and going, ooh, I gotta pee, ooh. What if that was just his answer to a question? You know, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
We also reserve the right to cut off your microphone if you ignore the rules, but candidates,
shit.
you know we don't want to do that.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, cut their mics. Do it. I want to prove it. Prove that you'll cut their mics. Do it. I've dreamt of this in a debate. I want it so badly.
The goal is for you to hear each other and for New Yorkers to hear everything you have to say. Good.
Alessandra Silva Ruiz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Okay, I'm new here and you're effing hilarious. Love from Portland.
I drank like 2 gallons of water in an 8.5-hour shift of working in a call center, and I'm not even nervous.
Oh, geez, Lily Love Stuff. That sounds like too much. I hope you're okay. Thank you for the $5 dono. Very much appreciated. And let's go, folks. We got this. Debate night.
Good luck. We'll begin with Melissa Russo.
Thank you, David, and good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We begin tonight by asking you to do what every mayor dreams of, and that is to write your own headlines. Imagine it's January 2027, and you have been in office for exactly 1 year. We would like you to quickly give us one headline about what you think your biggest accomplishment will have been in year number 1. We'll begin with you, Mr. Cuomo.
First, thank you very much for sponsoring the debate.
This is such a silly question. I love it. I'm really looking forward to whatever bullshit Sliwa says.
And having all of us. The one headline, how many characters in the headline?
You know, you're familiar with headline length.
Rent down, comma, crime down, comma, education scores up.
All children get candy. No bedtimes.
Comma.
Why have we had timers on the screen of every game show and sporting event of the last 50 years but no political debates? If they get 45 seconds to answer.
You know, it's a good question. I think we should give them even shorter amounts of time. Let's turn this into Tic Tacs. Okay, you 30 seconds. Keep it tight.
Jobs in New York City.
Now we're getting
We playing arts and crafts, and I am here for it. Can Cuomo do macaroni art?
Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono. Like, I don't think this man could make a macaroni art sculpture to save his life. I gotta be honest. Like, this man is such a nepo baby. He skipped that part of school.
Be a little over the average headline length, but
optimism high.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
Comma, no poop in pants. Comma, poop free since '93.
Curtis Sliwa is without his iconic red beret because I'm talking to the people of New York City.
Oh my God. He has a fucking tan line. He still has the tan line. Dude, I can't. Fuck. Oh my God. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh. Curtis Sliwa's without his iconic red hat because he lost it in the Ratman Wars. You see, I was living in my crevice below New York City when suddenly they took me by surprise and I left it hanging on a hook down there as I booked it through the sewers. Half naked, still partially asleep. I had to sneak my way through. I had to crawl through the shit to make it here tonight without my iconic red beret. So when I'm here, I only have one headline, and that headline is End to Ratman Scourge. VR Day! Victory over Ratman Day!
That tagline is enough to ruin a campaign. What is he thinking?
I genuinely don't know. He's so silly. He's so silly. He should choose to not be evil and instead be good.
Curtis Sliwa's tan line is the same energy as Mel Brooks lifting Rabbi Tuckman's hat in the Peyote, staying on.
It's so true. Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. I didn't think it would get this silly this fast. I gotta be honest. I thought we were gonna work our way into it.
About the really serious issues of affordability, the cost of living, and obviously what I spent most of my life doing, which is public safety in the streets and the subways.
We would love a headline from you. What will...
I thought his headline was Curtis Sliwa is without his iconic red beret. I thought that was the headline.
Sliva's slogan should be, I have had it up to exactly here with the Ratman.
And no, I have had it exactly up to here with the Ratman. No further questions. He just walks off stage.
Will your headline be, your big headline, and your number one is...
Oh, I mean, this man's got a big headline for you. He's got a huge headline for you. Can I here? We need the iconic image. Just the we've got a headline for you right here. No other headline can compare. Fuck.
Curtis Sliva's headline is already very visible. He just has to point to it with no explanation.
Oh, fuck! It's true. It's true, Sake Tanuki. I'm lightheaded. I'm actually like losing my mind here. I need to hold that off screen.
Mayor.
Curtis Sliwa exceeds all expectations and looks very mayoral tonight.
Mr. Mamdani, you've had some time to think about.
Your headline is he looks very, very mayoral. It's because he lost the hat. He's very proud of resisting the temptation to wear his comfort hat.
Got it now. What's your headline?
It's a pleasure to be here, first of all, and I really want to thank the moderators and the opportunity to speak directly to New Yorkers about this moment in time and our opportunity to transform the most expensive city in the United States of America. The headline would read in about a year, Mamdani continues to take on Trump, delivers on affordability agenda for New Yorkers.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Sally?
Thank you, Melissa.
That was the closest to an actual headline.
You're not nearly as lightheaded as Sliva without his beret. Bazinga.
No, guys, this is gonna be too funny. This is gonna be way too funny. I'm not prepared. We're gonna be clowning on these guys all night.
So, we're going to talk about leadership. Voters have reservations about all three of you as chief executive of New York City, a city with roughly 300,000 employees and a budget bigger than many countries. We have questions for each of you, and Mr. Cuomo, we will begin with you. As a former governor of New York, you obviously have the management experience, but you resigned from office amid sexual harassment and COVID-related scandals. Why should voters now trust that you have the character to be mayor? You have 1 minute.
Good. Thank you very much, and thank you for the question. First, you are right. I left office. There was a report that was done that had allegations of harassment. I said at the time it was a political report, and that there was no basis to it. It was an incentive.
There is no basis to it except for the dozens of women who accused me of sexual impropriety. There was no basis except for dozens of witnesses.
5 district attorneys, they all reviewed it. They found nothing. It was then litigated for 5 years. I was dropped from the cases. So none of that came.
Sorry, I was trying to reposition the subtitles.
To anything. When it comes to executive experience,
why?
I've run the Department of Housing and Urban Development, built housing all across the nation. I was governor for 11 years. The budget is double what it is in New York City, and I got government to work. I passed groundbreaking laws, minimum wage, paid family leave.
Yeah, Cuomo, believe it or not, has actually become less charismatic the longer this campaign has gone on, and the more it becomes clear that he's absolutely not going to win this thing.
We've built projects that had never been built before. This is no job for on-the-job training. And if you look at the failed mayors, they're ones that had no management experience. Don't do it again.
Thank you.
Believe all women, not those women.
No, not those ones. Those ones aren't believable. They're look, those women, they yap too much. Don't believe them.
Serena?
Thank you, Sally. In the theme of leadership, Mr. Mandani, you work as a foreclosure prevention counselor for winning seat in the state assembly. You have no substantial management experience. How are you ready to lead the nation's largest and greatest city in the world in one day?
All right. First of all, I see someone asking a very good question. Why do people vote for corporatists like Cuomo? And number one, there are a couple reasons, right? Number one is that Cuomo is a recognizable name in New York because Mario Cuomo generated a lot of goodwill. And Mario Cuomo is Andrew Cuomo's dad. And like basically when people call Andrew Cuomo a Nepo baby, it's literally like he literally has a career in politics simply because his dad was so beloved, simply because his dad was Mario Cuomo. That's it, right? And so people vote for the name recognition, and they also vote because they are rich.
Cuomo sexual tonight?
I don't think anyone. But they vote for him because they're rich and they want to protect their rich interests or their corporate interests. Or, you know, they think like, oh, this is a guy who understands business and I like business and the economy is important to me. You know, they make vague associations and they aren't like if you guys are here and you're watching my stream, you are already most likely in one of the most politically informed percentiles of the population. Like, you are paying attention.
The clown chakra and clown so hard we won't have time for Daddy Rudyard, Daddy Rudd, Daddy Kipling.
I mean, we'll get to Rudyard, maybe not tonight, but we will get to him, I promise. So like most people just don't pay attention and they go off of like vague vibes of who seems more professional or whose name they recognize, etc. You know, that's where like a lot of the electorate is because people just don't got time to like educate themselves or like figure out what's going on in politics. People are getting burnt out by their jobs, and that is a deliberate effort on a mass scale.
You have a minute.
You know, I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years and watching a broken political system, the experience of seeing a governor in Andrew Cuomo who would rather have served his billionaire donors and the working class New Yorkers who voted for him, and the experience amidst all of that of fighting and winning for working class taxi drivers to free them from predatory debt and delivering the first free bus lines in New York City history.
Yeah, I mean, like asking him this question in particular seems really weird to me, considering like he literally has a huge claim to fame, which is in his limited role in the state assembly in charge of like debt relief. He managed to get $500 million for taxi drivers. Like that's like relative to the amount of power he had in the assembly, that's a crazy achievement. It speaks well of his ability.
I still find it immensely funny that Cuomo couldn't think of "we're both well-known names in NYC" as an answer to why he and Trump have the same donors.
Well, that's the other thing. Like Andrew Cuomo's never been really good at politics. There's a reason why he like created an entire political bloc in New York in order to like stymie any progressive legislation or agenda. And it's like he's not that creative. He just is doing power politics. He does effectively the same thing Trump does, just with ever so slightly more subtlety.
Working with unions and working class New Yorkers to finally raise taxes.
Again, how did Cuomo get elected in the first place? His dad is Mario Cuomo. That's it. This
is just that little bit on Mr. Cuomo's donors to start to fully fund our public school. And more than that, I have the experience of being a New Yorker, someone who has actually paid rent in the city before I ran for mayor, someone who has had to wait for a bus that never came, someone who actually buys his groceries in this same city. And what all of that experience has shown me, which Mr. Cuomo can't seem to understand, is that it is far too expensive and far too hard for New Yorkers to afford to live in this city. And the definition of experience is not doing the same thing again and again and hoping for a different result. That's actually the definition of insanity.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
I love that he dared the moderators to mute him and spoke over by like 15 seconds to make a pretty great and cogent point.
So to translate to the Canadians in chat, what you're saying here is that Andrew Cuomo is a less charismatic, more handsy Justin Trudeau, THONKERS.
Kind of, but like even more conservative than Justin Trudeau. You know? Like, dude effectively is a Republican in a Democrat suit.
If I can, I think I was invoked.
Yes.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane.
He's literally had his Zohran Mamdani's main job has been like a lifetime dedicated to public service. Like, what do you? Oh, he hasn't had a job. What are you then? Like, dude, you can't try and paint Zohran Mamdani as a nepo baby when like he's doing like actual public service, and you on the other hand rode coattails to get into the governorship and resigned in disgrace.
Would have had more support for Luigi.
Sake, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. I appreciate it.
You have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know what you're doing,
Cuomo.
people could die.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes?
Hey, he's so good at this. Holy shit. Holy shit, dog. Yes. This is the kind of thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, we're 6 minutes into this. He's fucking smoking him. Holy shit.
That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yes. May I?
Oh, damn.
First, what you said was totally false, as you know.
Which part was false?
During COVID, everyone did whatever they could in this state. And there have been numerous...
You literally sent, you sent infected people into nursing homes, dude, where it spread like wildfire, and, like, so many old people died. Like, fuck off. You knew it was a bad call, and you did it to save money.
Numerous investigations where they've gone through it, and they said we followed federal guidance, but yes, people died during COVID, and my heart breaks for everyone that died in this state and across this nation.
But just to be clear, just to fact check that, there is a criminal investigation reportedly underway at the DOJ about your testimony to Congress about your nursing home record.
Yeah, but that is a...
Damn, dude.
Political issue with the Congress. They made a referral, which has gone absolutely nowhere. But there have been multiple investigations where the DOJ found that the nursing home investigation was politically motivated.
Okay, we're going to move on. We might have time to come back to it. I do need to move on to Mr.
But may I just finish my rebuttal? But the Assemblyman still says he has no experience to do the job.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cuomo.
That's not what he said.
Mr. Sliwa.
That's not what he said, Grandma Killer.
As founder of the Guardian Angels and as a radio host, you've been a well-known figure in New York City for decades. But you also lack substantial management experience. So how are you prepared to be the chief executive officer of New York City? You have 1 minute, Mr. Sliwa.
First of all, I created the Guardian Angels to provide public safety in the subways and streets when government was incapable of doing so. I didn't do it to get a title or a paycheck. Secondarily, I don't declare myself to be all-knowing. I will hire the very brightest and best in their fields who have dedicated their lives to trying to improve the city of New York or the state or the federal government or the private sector. But what I will say is, thank God I'm not a professional politician. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of no cash bail, which has been a disaster. We have the architect and the apprentice here of Raise the Age. My own son was almost killed because of that in a gang attack. We have the architect.
In a gang attack of Ratman, my son was bathing down below the sewers. That's right, in the secret area below the sewers where the Ratmen live. It's supposed to be a no man's land, a neutral ground. But suddenly a gang of Ratmen rolled up on them and they said,
Cuomo
hey.
will only reference Zohran Mamdani by the Assemblyman. this entire debate because he still can't pronounce it right.
Oh, I'm sure. He's also like trying to belittle him, but like emphasizing like public service. Zohran's public service is not
are on fire. Cuomo's too long-winded.
strat.
Zohran is amazing and concise. Curtis is the weird pick. My thoughts so far.
Oh, Curtis is absolutely the weird pick. There's no world in which he's qualified to do anything related to politics, but like he's definitely weird in an entertaining way. Again, as long as he's not in charge of anything, I'm fine with people being weird little guys. All right? The Ratman rolled up to my son in the no man's land, swinging chains as they do, and said, "Hey, Earthsider, what you doing here?" And he said, "Nothing, just minding my own business, but I'm Curtis Lewa's son." And they said, "Oh boy, we got ourselves some fresh meat." And then they had a rumble down there. They had a rumble in the no man's zone. And it turns out that no man's land was actually a no rat man's land, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he was fine. He came back and had dinner later that day. Fuck. There's gonna be a time at some point.
What about heading the Department of Sanitation?
What if we gave him like a bullshit department to run? Like the Department of like deep ground drilling, you know? Just something that doesn't actually do anything. God, thank you for the 2 tier 1 Subsocket. But also, like, one day there's gonna come a time where I'm going to run some kind of D&D campaign on stream with people. I don't know who would participate in this, but it's gonna take place in the underground Ratman, like, infested post-apocalypse area deep below New York City. And I think you guys would enjoy it.
And we have The Apprentice of Close Rikers Island, which would just release criminals in the street. Thank God I'm not a professional politician, because they have helped create this crime crisis in the city that we face. And I will
Thank you, Mr.
resolve.
Sliwa.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Candidates, President Trump has expressed intense interest in this election and in all of you personally. Mr. Mamdani, the president called you, quote, "my little communist." Mr. Sliwa, he said you're, quote, "not exactly prime time."
Oh, fuck. My little communist. There he is, my little communist. Running to be in charge of New York City, my little commie. You know, I came up with my own original song for My Little Commie. It goes, "My little commie, my little commie." How do you guys like it? It's oh God, you can't give me this kind of content. This is too funny. Like My Little Commie merch. Can we get like a? Oh man, just make like a My Little Commie like t-shirt. I could do that. I could make that happen. Just
My little cumsick Cuomo is magic. Damn it, Jack, you stole my bit.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono. Also, I'm trying to think of like what would the communist ponies be called? Well, like you know, you've got I don't know the names of the ponies well enough to like riff on them, but like I don't know, like Sickle Shy or something. I don't know. I'd have to spitball and like actually look up the names of the ponies. It's fine.
Mr. Cuomo, he has been critical of you, but said you have always gotten along.
The Pony Terriot, excellent. We're getting closer. You guys are cooking in chat.
The president has threatened to cut federal funds to the city. And just yesterday, he killed the Gateway Project, the tunnel connecting New York to New Jersey. You've all promised to resist him in some way. What would you say in your first official call with the president to set the...
You'd have Sickle Shy and Hammerjack, you know, like the two little commies. That'd be at least two of them.
Tone for your relationship moving
Oh, Twilight Sickle's great. That's much better.
Forward. We'll give you a minute for this. We'll start with you, Mr. Mamdani.
I would make it clear to the president that I am willing.
Stalin, Sparkle, and Rainbow Weenie.
Excellent. We're really cooking here. We're really cooking with our alternative reality universes.
To not only speak to him, but to work with him if it means delivering on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. That's something that he ran his presidential campaign on, and yet all he's been able to deliver thus far has been prosecuting his political enemies and trying to enact the largest deportation program in American history. And what distinguishes me from Andrew Cuomo is the fact that he has gotten on the phone with that same president, not asking him how to work together to help New Yorkers, or not telling him that he would refuse to back down to protect those New Yorkers, but instead asking him how to win this race. That's something I can do myself. I don't need the president's assistance for. And what I tell the president is if he ever wants to come for New Yorkers in the way that he has been, he's going to have to get through me as the next mayor of this city.
All right.
Hell yeah.
We'll give you a little extra time, but I'd like you to answer this question as well, what your first conversation with the president would be like.
Okay. First, I never.
Oh my God, Trotsky. Oh my God, that would be so good. That's too good. That's too good.
Had a conversation with the president that the assemblyman was talking about. But he's has a distant relationship with the truth. I would say to the president in the first conversation, look, we have had many, many battles. I fought with...
God, can we just like visually, these two guys, one of them is radiating confidence and the other is radiating the desperation of a used car salesman. And it's pretty apparent which one is which.
In the first conversation, look, we have had many, many battles. We fought together every day during COVID. And the battles were bloody. And I'd like to avoid them.
Hell yeah, boy meets Smitty.
You know, if you come after New York, you know what I'm going to do. You know it's going to be ugly.
If you come after New York, I'm going to sit down with you and have several hours of chats that I'm going to be too embarrassed to admit to publicly. But privately, I'm going to have made some pretty serious concessions on the level of Eric Adams. Okay? I am going to be a compromised candidate no matter what you do. But I'm going to tell you I'm not.
Although
and that's a big difference.
Trotsky is a bit of a hat on a hat.
Oh, God. Also, Beer Bash Johnson, thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciated.
My little proletariat. Seize the means of friendship.
It's so fucking good. My little commie, my little commie.
Screw whatever Fallout Equestria is. I am here for communist Equestria. Also, Mamdani is the goat, I tell you.
I just, and of course the goat would be a character in communist Equestria. Nailed it. I can't, we're 10 minutes into this chat. How have we already gotten here? Like, we're at a level of shitposting we've rarely seen in this community.
And, you know, my chances are almost 50-50, even though you're the president. I'd like to work with you. I think we can do good things together. But number one, I will fight you every step of the way if you try to hurt New York.
Unless he weaponizes the justice system to go after the attorney general of this state, in which case you'll issue a statement that doesn't even name the president. And no matter what you think about Donald Trump, you know that not even being able to name him is an act of cowardice. And that's what we would see from Donald Trump's puppet on the right.
I do want to get Mr. Sliwa, but Mr. Cuomo, I'll give you a few seconds to respond to that.
Yeah, I said political weaponization of the justice system is wrong. Both sides do it. It's wrong when Donald Trump does it. It's wrong when they did it to Comey. It's wrong when Comey did it to Hillary.
Okay.
It was wrong when it happened to Tish James.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. I want to give Mr. Sliwa a chance to answer this. Mr. Sliwa, your first official conversation with the president, what would you say to set the tone?
Well, first of all, there's high levels of testosterone in this room. I've had a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump that goes...
What? I can smell it. I've trained my nose to smell testosterone. The Ratman give it off as a pheromone. You have to be able to recognize it with your nose, otherwise they'll sneak up on you in the dark. Who the hell is this guy? This is Curtis Sliwa, a joke of a human being who's the Republican candidate in New York City's mayoral election. And somehow he qualified to be on the debate stage. And honestly, it's just funny as fuck.
Back over 30 years. But I know one thing. We have Andrew Cuomo. We have Zohran Mandami. They want to take on Donald Trump. Look, you can be tough, but you can't be tough if it's going to cost people desperately needed federal funds. Zohran Mandami, the president, has already said It's going to take $7 billion out of the budget right from the start if you're elected mayor. People are going to suffer in this city. People who need those federal funds. What I would do is sit and negotiate. I would say, look, Mr. President, we need that Gateway Tunnel. It moves millions of people from Washington, D.C. to Boston. But take away the Q train project. We don't need those 3 stations going from 96th Street to 125th. It's not a necessity. Sit with the president and whoever he delegates and try to negotiate. But if you try to get tough with Trump, the only people who are going to suffer from that are the people of New York City.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa, thank you. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani.
Look, the money we have should be going to fight the Ratman. That's the real threat. Okay, you can't stand up to Donald Trump and risk the funds. How will we afford the laser weaponry we use below the city? It really just comes across as like, oh, no, you should bend the knee and kiss the ring because, otherwise he's going to be an asshole. But he's going to be an asshole to New York City regardless of what you do.
Mr. Trump is already suspending infrastructure grants to this city, and he's doing it in a blatant act of political retribution. And what it requires is leadership that will stand up to him. And I disagree with Mr. Sliwa. We do need to extend the 2nd Avenue subway to 125th Street.
Hell yeah. Defend that public transit, baby.
Seize the means of streaming my comrades * post more.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono. God, I love that he's willing to go to bat for public transit as just like an inherent public good. Like what a real fucking man over here. Like all of my homies love public transit. Like if you walk into a bar and you're like, "Hey, who in here loves public transit?" and like you see someone raise their hand, they're your new best friend, okay? Like damn. Like if you like public transit, your dick gets 20% bigger. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Okay? You become like 20% better at sex just by liking public transit.
It's a promise made to Harlemites decades ago. Okay. It's time to actually fulfill it.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Okay, quick question for each of you. Mr. Cuomo, you've been asked this before.
He mentioned my name. Don't I get a chance to respond?
Well, we got a lot of ground to cover, Mr. Sliwa.
When was the last time you spoke with President Trump, Mr. Cuomo?
All the homies love a little train action. Hey.
Well, you've been asked this before, and the last time you said you couldn't remember?
I believe it was during his assassination attempt.
So last year in 2024. Mr. Sliwa, when was the last time you spoke with?
Well, it also makes you 20% better at sex for Axial. It doesn't, your mileage may vary about like dick getting bigger, but it might make it smaller. Whatever makes it better for you, really. It just makes you 20% better at sex, 20% more enjoyable sex, really.
President Trump.
Oh, many years ago, we were receiving awards. I was praising him for saving the annual Veterans Day Parade. Those were the conversations that I had with him. Can I please respond? I was asked about the Q train.
Okay, real quick.
Mr. Mamdani?
I am the mayor of mass transit. We do not need a Q train. I'm in the subways every day. We have
We don't need mass transit down below the cities. There are some depths that are so deep and dark we should never penetrate them. You see, if we build the Q train, it will be across Ratman territory. It'll cause them to rise up in a way never before seen. There are some places in this earth that are too deep and too dark and too evil for us to build, and the Q train line goes directly through one of them. I know my way around these tunnels. I've made of them. I was raised in them. I know how they think and how they operate the tunnels. We'll get those Ratman bastards one day, but it won't be through the Q train, that's for damn sure.
More than a capable system of transporting people.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
The infrastructure needs to be fixed in the system that we have.
Mr. Mamdani, have you ever spoken with President Trump?
No.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, Curtis Sliwa's politics are rancid, Danny the Foot. Like his political positions are basically aligned in a lot of different ways with Donald Trump. I would say maybe he's like Trump light, I guess. His policies are bad. Like they're just laughably bad. It's why I make fun of him. But I think it's more fun to make fun of him for what he says, which is just utter nonsense and inane bullshit like 99% of the time.
Sally. Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, follow up to that. President Trump has spoken positively about you and your candidacy, even as his Justice Department, as we've noted, is reportedly investigating you for allegations you lied to Congress over your COVID record. Given that dynamic,
you were nearly EI'd with the Raymen, but I was born among them Slee-Wah probably.
Among the Raymen? Wait, there are multiple Raymens? Oh no. those armless, legless motherfuckers.
Would you be able to stand up to this White House? How are you not compromised? And just take into account that New Yorkers are troubled by what they view as a compromised relationship the current outgoing mayor has with the president.
Yeah. First, you're wrong when you say there's any investigation of me. That's not true.
Do you have evidence there is no investigation?
I've heard absolutely nothing. Congress did a press release. They said they sent a letter to the Department of Justice, which they do routinely to generate press. And that's what that is. I fought Donald Trump. He investigated me repeatedly with the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice Inspector General said that it was actually politically motivated. That does not back me up. When I'm fighting for New York, I am not going to stop. And I'll tell you something else. If the Assemblyman is elected mayor, Donald Trump will take over New York City, and it will be Mayor Trump who runs New York City.
We have to move on.
Look, you can't be like, oh, Curtis Sliwa helped people when he's literally been embroiled in controversies for faking subway rescues. Like, his organization is like kind of bullshit. Like, they are basically vigilantes that patrol the streets, and like they also fake their success stories. And like New York City itself has issued like statements regarding the Guardian Angels, talking about how, hey, yeah, actually you guys by patrolling around might in fact be making things worse in these neighborhoods because people don't like you coming into their neighborhoods and like trying to boss them around. Like they're not doing good here. Exactly. You know, it's these are people who are essentially an organized gang, and like and that's not really even like going on a limb. Like in 2021, they were caught on video harassing people at the Stonewall Inn. They were literally harassing gay people at Stonewall in 2021. Okay? And DIY Driver, I'm not saying all of their stories are fake, but I am saying that Curtis Sliwa in particular has had to issue public apologies for faking subway rescues. So like, look, I'm just going to say, like, guys that are in an organization that are attacking protesters outside of the Stonewall Inn, or who have a history of faking subway rescues, I'm just not going to trust them if I see a group of them walking through. I think that's kind of bullshit. I think that like trying to say, well, you should respect them because not all of the rescues are fake. I don't know. Like maybe you don't need an armed organization that is going around like threatening people and harassing protesters. And I think that's kind of bullshit. Like just last year, on camera during a live interview, like they pushed a man to the ground and put him in a headlock. And Curtis Sliwa stood there and basically was like, it's fine, he's an immigrant. So like, I'm just saying here, you know, you could be like, well, they've done some good. They did some good in the 1970s. Okay, well, it's 50 years later. It's 50 years later, and the organization is just full of bullies and bigots, and it's pretty like obvious to see if you've been paying any attention to them whatsoever. I make fun of Curtis Sliwa because I find him to be a funny individual, but I have very little respect for his work. I have very little respect for his policy positions, which are also bad. And I just think that, like, you know, if someone's going to come into the chat and be like, well, he's actually pretty good, I'm going to push back on that. I think that he is the leader of a bunch of glorified vigilantes who, by and large, serve bigoted ends.
Very quick follow-up, yes or no? You're saying unequivocally the Justice Department is not investigating you, correct?
I've heard absolutely nothing.
They could be, and you might not have heard it, but okay, we'll move on. David?
Okay, thank you, Sally.
That is virtually impossible, by the way.
Like, I just want to, just real quick, quote directly from Curtis Sliwa. Let's just say we gave him a little pain compliance. His mother back in Venezuela felt the vibrations. He's sucking concrete. The cops scraped him off the asphalt. The NYPD later said that man was from the Bronx. And there was no evidence of the man shoplifting, like Curtis Sliwa claimed. He, when approached with this, Curtis Sliwa was like, well, I thought he was from Venezuela because he spoke Spanish. So, that's, I don't know. I'm just going to put forward, he's a bad person. And yeah, I do mock him with a silly voice. And I do think it's fun to imagine him basically living covered in shit in the sewers fighting rat people. But I do have more substantive disagreements with him, we'll say.
Okay.
So, Mr. Cuomo, you did put out an ad the day after the news first broke in the New York Times that you were under investigation, calling it a political investigation, saying they were coming after you as they had to, after other Democratic politicians. You haven't denied this previously.
That the Republican Congress was. Yes, I believe they play politics with the justice system. Okay. I believe the Republican Congress does it. I believe Donald Trump does it. I believe the Democrats do it. And that's why I think people are sick and tired of the justice system and the politics.
If you think that there's no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, then that's the candidate for you. If you think it's time to have a Democratic Party that actually stands up to Donald Trump and his billionaire-backed assault on working people,
thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Candidates we have.
Hell yeah, man. Dude just sticking to his guns. Having actual principles. What a man.
You're not a Democrat, right? You're not a Democrat. You're a Democratic socialist.
We have
you didn't vote for Kamala Harris.
He literally has the party endorsement, you ding dong.
That's right.
We have other ground to cover. We have other ground to cover.
That's an incendiary charge. I want to be very.
You may have a chance to address it, but we do.
I'll be very quick.
A lot of issues to get to with New Yorkers, Mr. Mamdani.
I'll be very quick.
You didn't say leave it blank in the Kamala
I'll be very
campaign?
Quick. I said leave it blank in the presidential primary because primaries are a place to air dissent. And like many Americans, I was horrified by the Israeli genocide of Palestinians. And if you want to look for me on the ballot, you'll find me as the Democrat.
Mr. Mamdani, thank you. We have to move on. This week, the world is reacting to President Trump's Israel-Hamas peace deal and the release of the hostages. And many are cautiously optimistic about a lasting peace. Of course, the mayor has no direct role in foreign affairs, and we certainly have a lot of questions for you about city matters. But this war has been a major topic in the campaign, and there are criticisms about your positions in the past and how you envision leading on these issues as mayor. So we have questions for all of you, but first for Mr. Mamdani, because of something you said that's been generating headlines in the news today as we come into the debate yesterday on Fox News. You were asked if Hamas should lay down its weapons, key to the peace plan and ceasefire. And some say they found your answer confusing. You said, quote, I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas and that applies to the Israeli military. So for the voters tuning in tonight, Mr. Mamdani, what do you believe about Hamas and how lasting peace will be achieved? We know it's a complicated matter, but we'd like you to keep your answer to a minute if you could.
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms. I'm proud to be one of the first elected officials in the state who called for a ceasefire. And calling for a ceasefire means seizing fire. That means all parties have to cease fire and put down their weapons. And the reason that we call for that is not only for the end of the genocide, but also an unimpeded access of humanitarian aid. I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this. Conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid. And that is what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah. If I may? That means from the river to the sea.
I'm being marginalized out of this.
I'm sorry.
It's a debate of three. Excuse me, Andrew. It's a debate of three. Do we acknowledge that? Three people?
Mr. Sliwa, go ahead, and we'll give you a second. Go ahead, Mr. Sliwa.
The President of the United States should have been applauded by you, Zohran Mandami, and you, Andrew Cuomo, on the day that he brought together that international coalition that met in Egypt, that came from the Middle East and the Persian Gulf. I certainly applauded him for bringing peace to Gaza and trying to end the hostilities in the war between the Israelis and Hamas, so there can be peace between the Israelis and peace between the Palestinians. But you seem, Zohran, to be incapable of praising our president. And Andrew, you were incapable of praising our president.
Gentlemen, we have
Give credit where credit is due. He's brought peace to Gaza.
Yeah, gentlemen, we want to hear everything you have to say. We have other questions on the matter. Mr. Cuomo, please, brief response, because we do have other questions on this issue that you may be able to address. Go ahead.
I did applaud.
Just damn, like this is messy as hell. Curtis Lee without his beret staring straight at me is spooky, right? Like there's nothing complicated about this issue. You can be like, I am cautiously optimistic about the ceasefire, but like until more comes of it, until we actually see a cessation of violence against the Palestinian people, like I'm good. I'm not like we'll hold the laurels until after we see success.
President Trump and his administration, I think it was a great accomplishment. I hope the peace holds.
Like, I mean, like, this is the issue, right? Like, you can say that, but like today, even like, Israel is still killing Palestinians. Like, they're still like reducing aid, like reducing or denying aid outright. That like, you can like the ceasefire isn't holding. Like, even Donald Trump like put on Truth Social like, oh, people are dying. If people keep dying, we're gonna go in. Like it's all just like I don't know why rush to give this man credit for something he's really only saying. We have not seen enough action to give him the credit of success.
The assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. The assemblyman.
What? Will you denounce Hassan? Dude, this man is content brained. Like, he went on Logan Paul's podcast. This man went on like Logan Paul's podcast the other day. Is he gonna denounce the things the Logan Paul has said? Can we just like, Logan Paul back in 2017? Logan Paul went to Japan and filmed like the body of a dead person in Japan's suicide forest. Are you going to denounce that? Are you going to denounce Logan Paul's filming of a dead body and like desecration of a corpse? Are you gonna apologize for that? No, you're not going to denounce that? Oh, that's crazy.
Just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code. Meaning,
here's his reaction in real time.
But they will belong.
Mr. Sliwa, we will get to you first. I'm going to ask a question of Mr. Cuomo. While you are a strong...
Wait, is that the stand-up comedian who does great crowd work? Forget his name. Giancarlo, maybe?
Supporter of Israel. You have also been slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community.
Thank you, Universal Power user, for this one to get the subs.
A terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah, well, first, I think the assemblyman created the perception himself. Why wouldn't he condemn Hamas? Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan Piker?
I love that he's... Oh, wait.
Why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce globalized intifada, which means kill all Jews. Just say, I denounce it. He won't do
older
it.
Jewish Americans are looking up right now.
His divisiveness is
Hamas and Hassan Piker. Please answer about your own...
Well, we all know the number one Hamas agent here in America, Hassan Piker. He's, I all the time I tune in to Hassan Piker's program, and he is talking about how he loves Hamas. You turn it on, and he looks directly into the camera and says, "I support Hamas," except he pronounces it Hamas. Yeah, they call him Hamas Piker. I can't talk. Hassan is radical Islam. Yeah, Hassan is the incarnation of like backwards hat, sunglasses, doing a sick wheelie move. Radical Muslim. Woo! You know? God.
That howl is killing me, lol.
His laugh is great. That was completely unexpected. But also, like, you get asked a question about alienating like Muslims, Muslim constituents, and you like attack like the one Muslim on stage with you, and like name drop like Hassad Piker and Hamas. Like, dog, that is so fucking gross. Like, it's so fucking gross and racist, and it's gross. It's absolutely disgusting, which is, you know, par for the course for Andrew Cuomo.
That the Israel,
like, I'm sorry, attacks Zohran Mamdani, attacks Hassad Piker, associates both of them with Hamas, and name drops 9/11 all within like 10 seconds. That's nuts. That's fucking crazy.
Does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state, which he has never acknowledged. That is from the river to the sea. That's why he won't denounce globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews.
Let's give Mr. Mamdani a chance to respond to that.
I want to be very clear. The occupation is a reference to international law and the violation of it, which Mr. Cuomo has no regard for since he signed up to be Benjamin Netanyahu's legal defense team during the course of this genocide. And
it's true. I believe that is actually true. Like, he actually did sign up to do that. That isn't like a turn of phrase, if I'm not mistaken here.
I find the comments that Hassan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists and streamers and Americans with whom we agree of every single thing that they say. We need to take the case to every person, and I'm happy to do that, which is why I was on Fox News yesterday talking about how I wish it was more like...
Yeah, just as an FYI, literally true. Literally true. As of November of last year, Andrew Cuomo joins high-powered legal team to defend Netanyahu against ICC's war crime claims. Literally true.
NASCAR, so we could see all the billionaires who are sponsoring you right on your suit jacket.
Melissa has another
We're going to turn it to Sally, actually.
Yeah, actually, this kind of flows, and then we'll go back to Melissa. Mr. Mamdani, you told NBC's Meet the Press that you don't believe it's the role of the mayor to police speech. Your words about this war have comforted many New Yorkers, but they've troubled others, and I want to ask about some of this. There is your recent refusal, as we just discussed, to condemn the slogan, globalize the Intifada, which many view as a call to arms. In 2017, you rapped lyrics praising the Holy Land Five. These are men who were convicted of supporting terrorism. How would you assure New Yorkers, especially Jewish residents who might be concerned about this, that you would be a mayor for all? You have 1 minute to answer this.
Thank you for this opportunity. When I am speaking about the responsibility of leading this city, I mean leading not just those who voted for me, leading not just those who vote, but leading every single person who calls this city home. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers. And I have been so thankful for the opportunity I've had to sit with so many Jewish New Yorkers over the course of the primary and through the general. And it's in those conversations that I learned that this phrase evokes many painful memories. Memories of bus attacks in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I heard from a rabbi about their roommate who was killed on one of those buses. And in hearing that and the distance between that impact and the rationale that some use of saying it, of speaking about the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, is why I said that I would discourage this language that I do not use. And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together. Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person that calls the city home, that they understand they won't just be protected, but they will belong.
Mr. Sliwa, we will get to you. First, I'm going to ask a question of Mr. Cuomo. While you are a strong supporter of Israel, you have also been slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community. You have called Mr. Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah. Well, first, I think the assemblyman.
Well, first, they all did 9/11 together. They all did it together. And I guess we just need to move past that. We just need to recognize they all did it together. They're all in on it. It's a big conspiracy. But I'm here for all New Yorkers, all of them. Sure, I might be rabidly Islamophobic, but and that's only because they all did 9/11 and are in on a big giant conspiracy. But I'm here for all New Yorkers. Like that to me is what this man comes across as, like nonstop.
Created the perception himself. Why wouldn't he condemn Hamas? Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan Piker? Why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce, globalize the Intifada. Which
did we? Oh no. Okay, we got to this. Did we? I'm sorry. Did I just like somehow like skip back, or is he doing this exact thing again?
It means kill all Jews. Just say I denounce it. He won't do it. That's the issue.
Mr.
And his divisiveness
Cuomo, can you address the question
is
that we're bringing
chronic.
to you? I think you've made the point, but can you please answer about your own?
That's fucking crazy. He did it twice. Am I stupid? Did I rewind?
Will not denounce Hassan Piker.
No, he did it a second time. I didn't believe you guys. I had to fact check you guys. And he's literally saying it again. You know his consultants absolutely told him to attack like Hamas, like this man on the basis of Hamas and Hassan Piker. That's crazy. Holy shit, he did it twice. I literally thought I had accidentally hit a button. That was crazy.
Slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community. You have called Mr. Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah, well, first, I think the assemblyman created the perception himself. Why wouldn't he condemn?
This answer was so similar to the one he gave like 2 minutes ago that like I literally thought it was the same one.
Hamas. Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan Piker? Why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce, globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews. Just say, I denounce it. He won't do it. That's the issue.
Mr.
And his divisiveness
Cuomo, can you address the question
is
that we're bringing to
chronic.
you? I think you've made the point, but can you please answer about your own relationship with the Muslim community? You did not visit mosques for many years. More recently, you have been.
Yeah, I don't think in any way the assemblyman is representative of the Muslim community.
Sriwal said, give me something, anything, and his consultants shrugged and said, talk about Hassan.
God, that's nuts. Except that like, this isn't Sliwa. This is Andrew Cuomo. God.
Which is a vital community in New York City. And I am very fond of and have been working with. I think he's playing his own politics. Many of his positions don't even follow the Muslim faith. So I see them as two totally separate things.
Mr. Mamdani, you want to respond?
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I've worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
if you're the governor, you should probably like be visiting a variety of different locations. Like there's a part of me where I'm like, this is not an unimportant issue, but like it seems virtue signaling to me. But when you're the governor, virtue signals matter, right? Like when you are in a position of authority, the virtue signals matter a little bit more because of what they communicate to marginalized communities, right? So like this is a substantive issue. Yeah, for New York, it's absolutely important, right? And so like there's a part of me where I'm like, I kind of cringe at like this type of like virtue signaling, but also it is important. And Andrew Cuomo absolutely 100% failed in that regard.
Was here.
Before you were even in state government, I worked with the Muslim community.
Yeah.
Imams presided over state of the states. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Sliwa, Rosarita has a specific question for you, but I'll give you a second.
Zohran, this is what disturbs me about you. You will be celebrating your birthday this weekend. In 1991, I was in the streets of Crown Heights with the Guardian Angels for 30 days and 30 nights when the first Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City, that's right, David Dinkins, was a proud member of the Democratic Socialists of America, abandoned the Jews for 3 days. They were left to their own means. And we protected them for 30 days and 30 nights. Then your favorite mayor, Bill de Blasio, in 2019, abandoned the Jews again when they were being attacked in Williamsburg and Pearl.
Would it abandoned the Jews? This fucking, what a what? Like, all of them? Like, what are you talking about, man?
Park in Crown Heights,
Mr.
and I had
Sliwa,
to bring the Guardian Angels in for 30 days,
Mr.
30
Sliwa,
nights.
Mr. Sliwa.
Jews don't trust that you are going to be there for them when they are victims of anti-Semitic attacks.
Okay. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani. We have a specific question for you from Rosarita, but Mr. Mamdani, please.
I agree, by the way.
One of the most meaningful experiences I've had over the course of this campaign has been the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about the door that they've had to...
Is he lying about the mayor being a member of DSA? No. Dinkins was a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. And as far as I know, like one of the most beloved mayors in New York City history. Dude was a real one. Look up Dinkins. He's great.
The lock that they had kept open for 40 years. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me on the M57 about an apartment the speech therapist was...
Also, Dinkins had a great mustache. More politicians should have the mustache. You got to sport the stash.
Trying to sell when a realtor told her, put the Jewish books off the table. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about their fear in living in this city. And I will be a mayor who finally addresses that, not through the theatrics of the politics on this stage, but through action. I'll do that by ensuring that we have police officers outside of synagogues on the high holy days.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to, and we do have a specific...
Also, like, Zohran should make a bigger deal out of the fact that he's the only candidate here who wants to actually have, like, I think he wants to, like, something like triple the funding for hate crime investigation and, like, enforcement specifically, and, like, form, like, a specific anti-Semitism task force. Like, those are really big ideas. Those are great ideas. Throw them out there. This would be a perfect time to highlight them.
The question for Mr. Sliwa. Rosarina.
Thank you, David. Mr. Sliwa, you've called for tougher policing of pro-Palestinian protests, and you've suggested that Mr. Mamdani uses languages that is anti-Semitic. How do you assure New Yorkers that you'll be the mayor for all?
Well, I've been there for all people in all times for 46 years as leader of the Guardian Angels here and around the world. Whether it is a religious violation of people's rights to worship as they choose in a mosque, in a church, in a synagogue, or a shul, whether it's because of racial identity. Remember, in the summer of 2020, Asians were under constant attack because of the lockdown and pandemic. I don't remember Governor Cuomo coming to their aid. You were the governor then. I was out there going into all the neighborhoods, Flushing, Bayside. We were in down in Bensonhurst. We were in Chinatown itself, where Asians were being attacked indiscriminately because they were thought to be carrying COVID. We protected them then. Governor, you were not there for them. De Blasio was not there for them. We understand hate. And in order to counteract hate, you have to get the community involved along with the police to protect people when they're under siege. Jews are under attack now more than ever before. And I don't believe either of you have the capabilities of protecting them.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like, this just hits so poorly when he is on camera a year ago with this.
Made-for-TV moment. Yesterday, Fox News was interviewing Curtis Swilla, the head of the New York City-based vigilante group known for targeting migrants. And they were discussing migrants in New York City when suddenly this happened.
Guys have just taken down one of the migrant guys right here on the corner, 42nd and 7th. While all this
can you
is
pan the camera?
They've taken over. They've taken over. You'd like the camera over there if at all possible.
Oh, you got your key open, guys.
He is out of control. Out of control.
So later, he was brought back for an update.
Well, he had been shoplifting first. The guardian angel spotted him, stopped him. He resisted. And let's just say we gave him a little pain compliance. His mother back in Venezuela felt the vibrations. He's sucking concrete. The cops scraped him off the asphalt. He's on his way to jail.
So according to the New York City Police Department, none of that is true. Senior.
Yeah, none of that is true. What you saw was a man getting assaulted on camera, and Curtis Lee was like, yeah, he was a shoplifter, criminal, migrant, they're taking over. Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe this man when he's talking about how he's working to protect people.
With increased anti-Semitism.
That is pure fiction. I passed the no hate in our state, the strongest hate crime law in the United States of America. We tolerate no hatred, no discrimination. We are from every place on this globe. And
unless
we are
it's
proud
you
of
that's
it.
perpetrating
and, excuse me, and we're tolerant and we accept. If you notice, the assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality all across the board. NYPD are racist. Barack Obama is evil, liar, and he gave the finger to the Christopher Columbus statue.
By the way, Cuomo, your laws with no cash bail turn the haters right back in the street to violate and attack again and again and again.
Thank you.
Also, that's not how no cash bail works. No cash bail doesn't mean people who commit a crime automatically get released onto the street. That's not what no cash bail does. Just means that a judge has to determine whether or not they are a threat to themselves or the public. And if the answer is no, then they don't get to keep them in prison, in exchange for an arbitrary amount of money. They just get to either go or they have to stay. And the judge makes that determination. It's really no different than the cash bail system. It just takes the cash out because it's just arbitrary financial punishment for no reason and no benefit.
For the reason for that, no cash bail.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
You don't know
I
what
just-
you're talking about.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There have been a number of absolutely unfounded lies that have been said by Andrew Cuomo. I would just like a moment to address them directly. I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any states. I said that I will not.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish, that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race, of religion. I have made that very clear. And part of that is because I'm an American who believes in the importance of equal rights being enshrined in every single country, whether we're speaking about Israel or whether we're speaking about Saudi Arabia. You can stand here and you can lie all you want, but New Yorkers will
You answered the question. We don't support Israel.
We want to address some issues here.
All right, and we have another polarizing issue that we would love to discuss with you candidates. And let's talk about the National Guard here in the
Casual reminder, there are lots of Italian legends that never genocided anyone. Galileo never killed anyone.
It's true. The joke that came into my head was probably offensive, so I'm not gonna say it. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs.
the city of New York. Now let's go back to Mr. President Donald Trump. One threat hanging over the city is the deployment of the National Guard troops, like he has done, as you all know, in other cities. The NYPD commissioner has rejected the idea as unnecessary, but the president ordered troops to hit the streets of New York. Now, how would you respond? Mr. Sliwa, you have a minute.
There's no need for the National Guard in New York. Kathy Hochul, the governor, when we had a crime crisis in the subways that I'm well familiar with, being down there all the time, unlike my 2 adversaries, she sent 750 National Guardsmen down into the subways in 2024. Remember the horrible case of Debrina Kawan. Does anybody even say her name anymore? That woman who was set on fire by that migrant. As a result of that, the worst crime I've ever seen committed in the subway system, the governor did the right thing. She sent an additional 250 National Guardsmen, giving us a total of 1,000 national.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, look, this one crime done by one migrant justifies the deployment of the National Guard into the subways to do jack all. Like, okay, yeah, that will keep people safe. Definitely, just having soldiers at the different subway stops. Jesus. Yeah, no, these guys think that they're cooking. You know, they're like, yeah, of course, just put soldiers on the streets. That will stop the crime. It's like that doesn't stop the crime. It actually makes people more afraid of using the subway. Curtis Lewa wants the National Guard to fight the Ratman with him. He does. It's true. His end goal is to siphon ever more resources down into the Underdark.
Guardsmen in the subway system, while our mayor, Eric Adams, was telling us it was all a perception. So Governor Hochul has responded. I would tell the President of the United States, since I'm familiar with cities all across America having guardian angels there, if you were going to send the National Guard, you don't need to send them to New York City. There are other cities that could desperately use their help in dealing with their crime crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Mr. Mamdani, how would you respond?
You know, I agree with Police Commissioner Tisch in that we do not need the National Guard here in New York City. We do not need them for the purpose of safety, because if it was safety that President Trump was so concerned about, he would send them to the 8 out of 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in this country, but he won't, because they're all run by Republicans. What New Yorkers need is a mayor who can stand up to Donald Trump and actually deliver on that safety. When Donald Trump sent ICE agents on people in Los Angeles, Andrew Cuomo said that New Yorkers need not overreact. That is the furthest answer that New Yorkers are looking for. They are looking for someone who will lead, someone who will say that they will have their back, someone who will actually fight for the people of this city. And that's who I am, because I'm not funded by the same donors that gave us Donald Trump's second term, which isn't something that Andrew Cuomo can say.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, first, the answer in the subways is not more National Guard. I put the National Guard in the subways also.
It's also not more like it's also not more cops on the subway. Like, putting more cops on the subway does not deter crime. It doesn't reduce crime. It just makes people afraid.
So it's more NYPD is the answer. But
no, it's not. It's literally not. Just make the subways better. Make the subways better and give people housing. Give people adequate mental health care. Like, the people that they are constantly fear-mongering about on the subway are people who are generally, like, struggling with some extreme mental health episode. And if someone has a home, they can struggle with that in their home. If somebody, if somebody's having an extreme mental health break, you can get them supports and stuff. Especially, it makes it a lot easier if they have a home. Like, the reason they're doing it in the subway is because they are, like, without a place to go and be safe. And, like, cops are not going to solve that problem. And in the off chance they solve that problem, they are just incarcerating, like, mentally ill people, which is incredibly expensive and ineffective.
The National Guard he's not sending in the National Guard.
Yeah, like, being unhoused creates mental distress, for sure, depraved ambiance. Like, these are related issues. People aren't going and, like, setting people on fire on the subway because they're, like, criminal masterminds who are looking to, like, get rich quick. They're doing it because they have, like, something deeply and profoundly wrong with them that we could actually address before it gets to that point.
To do any real function. It's control, it's power. He's trying to say these Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and it's a political gesture by sending in the National Guard. He has said if the assemblyman is elected, he will take over New York. Forget the National Guard.
But this is
he
not
has
the
said, I'm
question.
going to take the funds.
If they order the troops to come here, what would you do?
Well, I went through this with him. He sent the...
Actually, Christina, I actually have the link for Omar Fateh's phone banking. And you know what? It's as good a time as any. Folks, if you want to help get the Mamdani of Minneapolis elected, there are several phone banking times. There is one on November 2nd. You can help get a socialist elected here in Minneapolis. It would mean a lot to me if you guys could sign up to phone bank. It's really easy. You get to make friends. You get to meet people. Also, you can do it from anywhere in the country. You can do it from online. It's real great. I encourage you all to do it. Omar Fateh is the real deal. But yeah, sign up to do some phone banking. It's really great. And you can help people like Zohran Mamdani really flourish and make the pathway easier all across this country.
National Guard to 20 cities when I was governor. You know what city he didn't send them to?
Hell
New
yeah,
York.
Sam and Moose, thank
Why?
you.
Because I said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good relationship.
Wait a second. The president is going to back down to you, Andrew Cuomo. I know you think you're the toughest guy alive, but let me tell you something. You lost your own primary, right? You were rejected by your Democrats.
Why
and you have a difficult understanding that what the term no is. You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
I agree with Curtis.
You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
Okay.
And he can't stand up to Donald Trump, who knocked him right on his tuchus.
You negotiate with him. You don't fight with him because only the people of New York City will lose.
We do have stand up to negotiate.
We have a follow-up.
Knock him right on his tuchus. Incredible stuff happening on this stage. He thinks he's tough. He lost his own primary. I've never lost a primary. In the underground elections against the Ratman. That's right, we have elections down there. They're contentious, heated affairs, full of whipping chains and revolving pickaxes.
I'd like to see a show of hands. Are there any circumstances where any of you would allow the NYPD to cooperate with the National Guard if Trump sent them to New York? Show of hands. Yes? No takers. Okay. Moving on. If history is a guide, National Guard troops in the city could trigger protests. And we have questions for each of you about how you would handle that. So, Mr. Sliwa, you have been arrested for protesting migrant housing and for trying to serve Mayor Bill de Blasio with court papers. How would your NYPD handle protests? And would you continue participating in protests as mayor? You have 1 minute.
Well, I have been arrested oftentimes in civil disobedience. That is a great American right. But demonstrations have a time and a place. And it used to be before Bill de Blasio, I know he was your favorite mayor, Zohran Mamdani, that you'd have to get a permit. There's a time period you were in a structured area. You get a sound permit, it could be turned.
Wait, I'm pretty sure Bill de Blasio is not Zohran Mamdani's favorite bear. I'm pretty sure it was David Dinkins. Also, by the way, David Dinkins, just like what a man, you know, like just dude, what a great stash. Just like a no-nonsense socialist. You know, we need a few of those in office.
Around in a day, if there was going to be civil disobedience, you discussed it with the police department. And obviously you had an opportunity of expressing your anger or your outrage at whatever it was that motivated you to sit down in the street, to block traffic or block an egress. Now we have rampaging groups that go running through the streets, that enter all kinds of facilities and violate other people's rights. And there's no one who's willing.
It would be the least surprising thing on the planet if Curtis Sliwa turned out to be a sovereign citizen. It would be funny as fuck. I don't think I would ever stop laughing. And there's a non-0% chance that is in fact accurate.
To stop it. When I'm the mayor, there are rules and regulations. Everybody has a right to demonstrate, but you can't violate other people's rights or you yourself must be arrested. And I would remove the face coverings. Remove those face coverings. Why are you afraid of identifying who you are as a demonstrator unless maybe you're an agent provocateur who's been sent in here to cause chaos?
Thank you. Rosarina?
The next question goes to you, Mr. Mamdani. You were arrested for blocking traffic in a pro-Palestinian protest, and you participated in a sit-in at Grand Central. Protesters offered block streets, bridges, and hubs like Grand Central. How much of that would you allow as mayor, and what's your line in having the NYPD arrest protesters? You have a minute.
Protest is a part of what makes this city's history what it is. It is a part of the First Amendment. We deserve to have a mayor who stands up for that First Amendment, especially as we have a president that's looking to shred it at each and every opportunity. And we will continue to have protests in this city, as we should, no matter who is the mayor. And the line will be on the question
he travels alongside the Ratman.
I ride one of the underground lizard creatures that they use for transport down there. I've had a custom-built saddle made of shed hide of the various underground critters that you can find down there.
I said touches. Did you hear that? I used Yiddish as an Italian New Yorker. Did I mention I support Israel?
I did want to make a bigger deal of that, Sake Tanuki. Thank you, because like it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, am I signaling enough? Am I signaling enough to elderly Jewish New Yorkers? Am I doing it? Can I win them back?
Breaking the law. What we have today, however, is an attempt to intimidate so many who are looking to use that freedom of expression to share their opinions about the city and the world around them. And to be frank with you, what New Yorkers are looking for is someone who can show leadership in City Hall. Because when they don't see that leadership, that's when so many take to the streets. And if you had a leader like Andrew Cuomo, who was telling people not to overreact when they see ICE agents abducting girls as young as 6 years old to deport them, many New Yorkers will take to the streets. We deserve to have a leader who will actually be following through on the values of the city. That's the leader that I'll be.
Mr. Mandani, just a quick follow-up. If you're elected, would you still participate in protests?
No, if I'm elected, I'll be the mayor and I'll be leading the city from City Hall.
But
Let's go! Let's go! Have all of City Hall protest. Let's go!
No participation in protests, right?
The important thing is to lead from City Hall. That's what I'll be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. If I may respond, because I believe my name was invoked.
A very brief response, and then I have a question for you.
I dealt with ICE. I stood up with ICE. I had a war with ICE here in New York when I was governor. And I stood them down, and they moved out. What the assemblyman is saying is, he doesn't believe in law and order. He believes in defunding the police, disarming the police, disbanding the police. That's who he is. Abolish jails.
Sorry,
I have a question for you.
Wait, that sounds based though. Like if we could, we should get rid of jails. You know, if we can have a better, less cruel system that works and like rehabilitates people, like that's preferable actually to like, I don't know, torturing people or taking away their freedoms. I don't know. I think it would be good if we could reform people without, taking years of their life.
15 seconds.
Very quickly.
We have to, and then we do just 15 seconds because we have a question for Mr. Cuomo.
Mr. Cuomo lies again and again and again. I am not running to defund the police. I am running to actually work with the police to deliver public safety. Andrew Cuomo says that he has stood up to ICE. He has not said a word about...
If I may respond, I believe my name was invoked. If there wasn't a better tagline for Cuomo's whole campaign.
It's true. Like, God, this entire debate is like a clown show, but then there's like one straight man on stage, like just two clowns and a straight man. Like it's like we're watching an elaborate Who's on First, and then there's like just some guy who's like, well, clearly the bit is about people being on bases. You guys are genuinely getting confused, but this is about baseball players in their different playing positions.
The abductions that are happening right now.
He's referring to a previous comment you made, and we will get back to this. But Mr. Cuomo, a question for you.
It's a comment he made. Is the operative language.
That. Yes, I understand. I said that. As governor, you put the National Guard on standby during the George Floyd protests. You didn't deploy them. As mayor, talk about how you would balance the right to protest with maintaining order in the streets.
The right to protest is a sacred right. There is no doubt about that. But the law is the law also. And you have New Yorkers now who are afraid in this city. They're afraid of Donald Trump coming. They're afraid of that anarchy. And they're afraid of the anarchy in the city itself. We have to provide public safety that makes New Yorkers feel safe. Demonstration is one thing. Violating the law is something else. Blocking public transit is something else. Stopping students from going to class is something else. Harassment, intimidation, that's a hate crime. That's illegal. Enforce the law. Respect the police. They're not racists, as the assemblyman calls them. They're not.
That's right. 40% of them are very, very helpful people. Just good family men. Look up police, 40% family. For more.
Not a threat to public safety, as he says. They're not anti-queer. They are here to protect New Yorkers, work with them, fortify them.
You know, that's ironic that you say that now.
I'm sorry,
Andrew
Mr.
Cuomo, because when you were governor for 8 years, your parole board released 43 cop killers back into the street.
Okay,
Your father, when he was governor, released none. I knew Mario Cuomo. You know Mario Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo.
I'm sorry.
This man just like interjects in like weird ways, but like it's like his bizarre You know what? This man's Voldo from Soul Calibur, all right? He's just weird and off-putting as hell, and I do not support his endeavors in any way, shape, or form, but goddamn, he could throw a weird-ass punch. Holy shit, Jack, I looked that up, and what the fuck? Yep.
They're not racist, they're not sexist, and some, I assume, are bad people.
It's true. I do assume that. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, Sake Tanuki. It's good. If my comment made you look up police 40%, then I feel like I've informed you of something.
Mr. Sliwa, don't say you're pro.
Mr. Mamdani, do you want to respond briefly to the comments that Mr. Cuomo raised about things you've said about police?
Hey, Voldo is cool as fuck. Voldo is cool as fuck, but he's also creepy as fuck. And also, like, I don't know, Curtis Lee was also creepy as fuck, just in a different way.
You can do a brief response to that.
I have been clear time and time again that as much as Andrew Cuomo wants to bring up tweets from 2020, which is around the same time that he was sending seniors to their death in nursing homes, I am looking to work with police officers, not to defund the NYPD, looking to ensure that officers can actually do one job when they're signing up to join that department.
I said it before and I'll say it again. He's the weird pick, but with extra rats.
It's true. He's got some rats in his closet.
Not the many jobs we're asking them to do today.
He was specifically referring to comments you made. We will come back to that, but we're out of time.
Okay, gentlemen, candidates,
and racist.
We're moving on.
That's what you said. Your words.
We're moving on.
Racist, sexist, Republican. These words are virtually interchangeable.
Interesting quote from PragerU video.
Thank you. Despite record low crime numbers, polls show that crime remains a top concern for New York City voters. The three of you have very different approaches to crime fighting and how to manage the NYPD. We want to get into your plans. So we'll start with this question. It's a 2-part question, but it's short. How will you make the city safer? And how will you change the NYPD? You'll have 1 minute. We begin with Mr. Cuomo.
I would add 5,000. Well, let's take a step back. Remember what happened. The far left, the socialists said defund the police, defund the police. They took $1 billion out of the police. The NYPD is now down at...
Curtis Lee was literally the Thanksgiving uncle. Oh my God, we found it. We found it, everybody. The incarnation of the concept of the Thanksgiving uncle. Enough people have become familiar with the meme that it has manifested into the form of one man. And that man's name is Curtis Sliwa.
One of the lowest levels in modern political history. I would add 5,000 police, put 1,500 in the subways, raise the starting salary because you can't hire them. You can't even fill a class right now. And you have to add additional police officers because the attrition rate is so high. Part of that is going to be saying to the NYPD, I respect you. I don't think you're wicked.
Well, Uncle Gumball, not every uncle is the Thanksgiving uncle. You know what I mean when I say the Thanksgiving uncle.
The assemblyman said, I don't think you're corrupt. I don't think you're racist. I value you. I will have your back. I'll be a mayor
You are
to
now
work.
a normal rat man.
You know, is it a coincidence that Andrew Cuomo looks kind of like Jordan Peterson being a very normal rat? I think not. I think the rat men are infiltrating this very debate.
With you.
It's why Sliwa goes harder and harder against Andrew Cuomo.
That's how you're going to get the police to apply for the jobs. And then we have to work on the relationship between the community and the police. The police can't police the community. They have to police with the community.
You're up next, Mr. Sliwa.
This is amazing. I'm standing here with my two adversaries, both of whom have threatened to defund the police. You, Andrew Cuomo, during the summer of 2020, you said if you don't reform police departments. I'm going to defund you. And you certainly said that, Zohran Mandami. We need 7,000 police. We only have 32,500. The problem in recruiting police, which neither of you are addressing, is that their insurance was stripped from them. The state, you did nothing when you were governor, and here in the city, 2021, the city council and Eric Adams did nothing. They don't have qualified immunity, which you benefited from, Andrew Cuomo, with the 13 lawsuits
Racist,
filed against you for sexual harassment.
Republican monkus, feet. Jazz dog.
Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, the Terminal Brain Rot song is legendary. We played it at the beginning of stream. We'll probably play it again. Thank you for the $5 dono, Matt at the Yahoo.
Tom DiNapoli says we're paying out $60 million. Why? Because you had your qualified immunity as governor, and yet people have stood by as police have lost their insurance that all civil servants have. That's why you can't get recruits in, because they're not insured. I will return their qualified immunity because they need to be protected like other civil servants.
That is not New York State. It's New York City on the qualified insurance, on qualified immunity. It's not insurance at all.
You are entitled to free legal counsel, which is what he's referring to.
Yes.
You have spent.
Yes, but it's New York City that has revoked qualified immunity. It's not insurance. It's qualified immunity. It has nothing to do with insurance.
So that protected you in all these lawsuits.
And yes, the loss.
Sliwa will fight crime as the vigilante Ratman. Na Ratman.
Oh man, maybe Sliwa's been got. Maybe Sliwa is the Ratman. Maybe he's been a double agent the entire time.
Suits because there was a report filed. I said it was political. It turned out to be political, and that's why
all 13 women were lying. Come on, Andrew. All 13 women were lying.
After 5 years.
A state trooper too?
Yeah, after 5 years, 5 DAs, 5 years of litigation, I was dropped from the case.
Mr. Mamdani, how will you
once
make?
in a while.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani, how will you make the city safer, and how will you change the NYPD?
Thank you. This is the concern for so many New Yorkers, and I'm proud to have a comprehensive plan to bring new ideas to this city. If you want more of the same, vote for Andrew Cuomo. If you want an actual approach to lower crime, look at our Department of Community Safety. That is something that has been.
I love that. I know I've been like making a lot of fun during this debate, but like the way he is able to just like be like, yeah, if you want more of the shit, more of the same shit that we've got that brought us here, like vote for that guy. Yeah, go for it. If you want better policies, go for me, because I actually bothered to think one out instead of asking ChatGPT to make one for me. Like this top tier performance from Mamdani here.
Hailed by experts as addressing so many of the pieces of why New Yorkers are not feeling safe today. We will ensure that no longer are police officers asked to do the job of both policing and responding to the mental health crisis. We will have dedicated teams of mental health outreach workers in the top 100 subway stations with the highest levels of the mental health crisis and homelessness. We will ensure that cops can finally go back to the response times they used to have in 2020, closer to 11 minutes, as opposed to the closer to 16 minutes today, because they won't be asked to respond to the 200,000 mental health calls that are coming in through 911 every year. This is evidence-based. It's been successful elsewhere in the country. It's time we deliver it right here in New York City. It's time for a change.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani, we already had it. It was called the Homeless Outreach Unit
I'm sorry, this
of
is not
cops
free
and
for all. We have
mental
another
health care
question.
It's not, the homeless outreach unit was not what he's talking about. The homeless outreach unit was literally cops. It was cops going out and interacting with the homeless, the unhoused community. Like that's not the same thing remotely.
For Mr. Mamdani,
Bill de Blasio funded them by $1 billion out of the budget.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Mamdani, we're going to talk about disciplining police officers. The civilian watchdog that investigates police misconduct regularly recommends
Also, Rhombus, I saw your comment about getting more emotes over on YouTube chat. Last I checked, I had maxed out the number of emotes that I could add to YouTube, but I'm sure since then we've gotten more subscribers, so I'll take a look at how many emote slots I have and fill them up with some more. But part of the issue is I have an unlimited number of slots over on riverboat.gg, which you can go to and participate in that chat. but I do not have an unlimited amount of slots for YouTube, sadly.
Discipline for cops accused of wrongdoing, but the police commissioner often overrides them. You want to change that policy so that the board has final say. Please explain to viewers in 30 seconds why you believe the police commissioner should no longer have that final say.
What I've said is that I think it's time to remove much of the politics out of the question of accountability. We have the Civilian Complaint Review Board, which, as you said, studies, assesses, and investigates into complaints of abuse and the violation of the law. And oftentimes those recommendations are then subject to political pressures and not followed through on. I think New Yorkers deserve a system where they know it won't then be assessed once again, that there's actually more to the recommendation in the investigation that's being done by the CCRB.
Okay, we're wrapping up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Cuomo, do you believe changes are needed for how officers are disciplined? And are there any powers that you would give up as mayor? You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I would not remove the police commissioner from the CCRB. I'd leave it with the police commissioner. I think Commissioner Tisch is doing a very good job. I would trust her. The difference between me and the assemblyman is he doesn't like the police. That's why he won't hire more police when everyone else says we need more police. He wants to use social workers on domestic violence calls, which are very dangerous. And he's told you what he thinks. He thinks the police are racist, wicked,
we never hear about
corrupt.
cops accused of right-doing.
But, like, that's true sometimes, though. Like, it's really weird to me to see someone making this argument about an that there's not this widespread, like, corruption and bigotry endemic to, like, the police department, especially in New York City, when, like, Frank Serpico still can't go to New York City. Like, he testified about corruption within the NYPD like 50 years ago. They tried to kill him for it, and he's never been able to go back because, like, they're this is just a wild argument to make specifically about NYPD. Like, I don't know. Can I deflect to how good the fire department is? Honestly, yeah. I would love to hear how great New York's, like, fire department is. That'd be great. Can we spend time talking about that?
Who is this assemblyman they keep talking about? LMAO, they're afraid of them and it won't help when people don't know who they're attacking.
Genuinely, I think his consultants told him to call Zohran Mamdani, like, assemblyman as a way of, like, diminishing him, but it just makes him seem more professional. And it's either that they wanted to diminish him or they thought for some reason it would, like, that, like, maybe they didn't think that Andrew Cuomo could pronounce Zohran Mamdani's name right. So instead they were just like, just call him assemblyman. Just call him assemblyman. It's easier for you to say. Just call him that. Clearly the assemblyman is a Bionicle. I don't know enough about Bionicle lore to know whether or not Assemblyman is a character in that franchise.
And a threat to public safety.
Thank you.
Those are his words.
Very quick. Mr. Mamdani, very quick.
Look, Andrew Cuomo is a politician of the past, and all he can speak about are the tweets of the past in 2020.
The future is now, old man.
Those are tweets which I have apologized for to New Yorkers and police officers directly, and they are not what I am actually running on.
No,
you're incapable of actually
Mr.
speaking about the platform that we have here,
Mamdani,
which is one that will keep New Yorkers safe.
Can we just quickly ask you, because I think what some people feel they haven't heard from you, we hear you saying that you don't believe that anymore and you've apologized. People have not heard you sort of describe the evolution of your thought, how you got from there to here.
Hey, mildly muscular mom. Thank you very much for being a member. Appreciate it.
You know, growing up in this city, I would think often about safety and justice and the ways in which that relationship has been irrevocably harmed. When I learned about the exonerated five, when I learned about Sean Bell, when I learned about Eric Garner, when I learned about Michael Brown. And then in 2020, when I wrote these tweets, learning about the death of George Floyd. And that was a moment where it felt as if the distance between these two ideals had never been further. And in becoming an assembly member and serving and representing more than 100,000 people in Queens, learning that to deliver justice means to also deliver safety. And that means leading a city where you recognize the bravery of the men and women who joined the NYPD and put their lives on the line. Yeah. It means representing the Muslims who were illegally surveilled in my district and the black and brown New Yorkers who've been victims of police brutality.
So Mr. Sliwa, you've been out there, you've been on the trains, and
Yeah, I'm also glad that we watched the interview first, because I feel like the interview was a much better display of like his rhetorical skills. Not that he's doing a bad job here, but just like this is such like an unrelenting clown car of a debate that I'm just kind of like, damn, I'm glad we got to like see him just like in isolation.
Would like to know if you believe changes are needed of how officers are disciplined.
Let me just suggest, Zohran, what you've suggested.
Zohran, Curtis.
Zohran.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Wait, what did he say?
What you
officers are disciplined.
Let me just suggest, Zohran, what you
how do you people keep messing up his name? It's not hard. It's so hard. Why are they having this much difficulty? Zohran? What the hell? I am baffled.
You've suggested
Zohran, Curtis.
Zohran.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Appreciate
Let me just suggest that what you have proposed with this new police outrage unit will endanger women and children in domestic violence situations. I know I've been involved in so many of them with the Guardian Angels. They will be killed. They will be maimed. Number two, in dealing with emotionally disturbed persons that I have dealt with for all my years as the Guardian Angels, you need.
Also, just an FYI, guys, like if you get timed out, like just come back and be cool about it. Be chill. If like a moderator like Bapsia, it times you out, just be chill about it. And like if you do have a bunch of alts, don't like advertise that. Like just come back on a new day and be chill.
Ah yes, my favorite Power Ranger character, Zohran Mamdani.
I'm not gonna lie, my brain also went to Zordon. I remember my greatest ally in the fight against the Ratman, an entity known as Zordon. He sent me 3 teenagers from another world. They died instantly on the first day of combat.
Trained professional police officers. Yes, you can have mental health workers with them.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
But that has been suggested. It was done before by the homeless outreach
we have other grounds.
And the guy you thought was the best mayor, Bill de Blasio, disbanded
Mr. Sliwa, thank you. Brief response?
To be very clear, the Department of Community Safety is not about responding to calls of domestic violence. We are speaking about mental health crisis and the homelessness crisis. These are the focuses of the work that they will do.
All right. We have other questions for that a little later in the debate, but we want to just change the pace a little bit, candidates, switching gears to the high cost of living in New York City. To kick us off, we have a few quick pocketbook questions that New Yorkers wrestle with daily. So we want to know how much you spend a week on groceries. We'll begin with you, Mr. Cuomo.
Depends how many times my daughters come over, but probably about $150.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa?
Oh, I'd say about $175 with a gallon of milk, now $5 and always rising up. Loaf of bread, simple loaf of bread that used to be 99 cents. It's like $3 now.
Thank
the price is too
Mr. Sliwa, thank you.
Costly.
It's a brief answer. Thank you. Mr. Mamdani.
Damn, I thought he was going to drop the prices are too damn high. He almost did it. He should have done it.
Actually agree with Curtis on that. It is too costly. Now that eggs are down to less than $4, though, my average spend every week is about $125, $150.
All right. Do you carry credit card debt or do you pay it off every month? Mr. Mamdani?
I pay it off every month.
Mr. Cuomo?
Paid off.
Mr. Sliwa?
I don't have a credit card. I have a debit card.
Ah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Debt is a way that they trap you. You got to remain free.
The fact that Sliwa can get corrected and apologize and get through that interaction and Cuomo can't says so much.
Oh God. Oh, okay. Can I like admit to something like somewhat embarrassing? I also did not have a credit card until I realized that you really need a credit card in order to build credit. And if you don't have one, your credit is trash. So, yeah, I also did not have a credit card for the longest time. And I could say on a certain level, I relate to that. Like, I don't want to owe a company money. That sucks. And in order to build up credit, you need one, and it's awful. You just have to spend more time and effort navigating the Byzantine bureaucracy of your credit card company. It sucks.
And for the record, what is your monthly rent or mortgage, Mr. Sliwa?
About $3,900. It's not subsidized there, so.
Mr. Mamdani, what is your monthly rent or mortgage?
$2,300.
Mr. Cuomo.
He has a rent-stabilized apartment that a poor person's supposed to have. Mine is about $7,800.
We are actually getting to
that. We're gonna cover that subject. Sally?
Thank you. We're going to talk a little bit more about the runaway rent in this city. Mr. Mamdani, you're pledging to freeze rent for nearly 1 million rent stabilized.
Yeah, also, like, Curtis Sliwa is wealthy. Like, he bought like a $1.6 million place. Like, Andrew Cuomo, wealthy as hell from a famous political dynasty, right? Like, also, like, Zohran Mamdani is not wealthy at all. God, in what world is Mamdani's rent for poor people? In New York City, rent is insane. New York City rent is insane.
Apartments. That really affects less than half of all rentals in the city. What is your plan for those who aren't in stabilized apartments but are struggling to pay the rent? What are you going to do for them?
Well, I'm proud to say that I will freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants.
Let's go!
I will also build 200,000 truly affordable homes across the 5 boroughs over the next 10 years to ensure that tenants, whether rent-stabilized or market rate, can actually have more housing such that they are not being priced out of this city. And finally, I'm also going to make it easier for the private sector to build housing in this city, because what we see today is that it's not.
Yeah, also, by the way, folks, average rent in New York City is around $4,000 per month. That's according to apartments.com here. So you know, it's the rent is too damn high. And average apartment size is 591 square feet. That's fucking nuts. It is $4,029 for a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City. If you want to go down to a studio size, it's $3,270. That's why, like, when they talk about subsidized rent, like Mamdani's like lives in his apartment with like his wife. You know, like it's 2 people living in there. Like, a subsidized apartment is basically a necessity if you want to like live in any kind of decency.
Not labor.
Like, I wouldn't be able to afford that shit.
It's not materials, it's the weight that is often costing so much to actually build the housing we need in this city.
Thank you. And a follow-up for you, Mr. Mamdani. The cost of maintaining a building change year to year for landlords. The Rent Guidelines Board is legally required to consider those costs when deciding whether to freeze rents. So how can you promise a rent freeze today before ever seeing that data next year?
You know, we've seen the data time and again. It's
next year's data.
It's been data that's been overruled by mayors again and again. The last Rent Guidelines Board study showed that profits were up 12% for landlords of those units. And what did they do? They raised the rent, adding to more than 12% under Eric Adams' administration. What I am speaking about is actually reflecting the needs of these New Yorkers.
It's so fucking predatory, man.
My last 1-bedroom was in a 4-floor walk-up and was $3,600 a month.
Jesus.
My last 2-bedroom was $6,550 a month.
Jesus Christ. That's insane. Like, living in Minnesota, those are insane rental prices. For $3,600 per month in Minnesota, you could get at least like two apartments. That's fucking nuts. Y'all, I'm scared of rent now. You should be. Rent is terrible. I'm mad enough at $1,000 for a 1-bedroom here. Those are house prices. They really are, you know?
And the state of the market today. These are New Yorkers who have a median household income of $60,000. We do not need to be pushing them further out of the city. We need to keep them in their homes.
Aren't you saying in that answer that you are going to prejudge? You will not have seen the data for next year, and you're making a determination based on data you haven't seen?
I've seen the data year after year of the fact that salaries are stagnating, costs are up, New Yorkers can't actually afford their apartments. And I will also take action to actually ensure that the landlords of those buildings can better handle their costs by taking on their insurance, their property taxes, and their water bills.
And you haven't seen next year's data yet, but we're going to go
I do have a
to
question for you on this subject.
Jesus.
2 apartments and a complimentary tractor and show blower.
What is a what? I don't understand. What is a show blower?
I just want to live in a world where we're not screwed up the asterisk hole and can thrive, please. I am so spiritually tired.
God, it really is spiritually tiring. Capitalism is such a grind, man. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. There are like apartments you can get in New York City through a lottery system where the rent is like something along the lines of like $500 a month. You have to like win like a literal lottery in order to get it, but they do exist. And like, it doesn't have to be a system where people are completely unable to get by. Oh, snow blower. I'm still also a complimentary tractor. So like you get like a tractor, like farm equipment. Last time my partner and I moved, we looked at buying instead of renting. Buying would have resulted in us having a lower monthly housing cost for both mortgage and condo fees. Rent would have been higher, but we weren't approved for a mortgage, so now we're paying the higher rent. It's expensive being poor. It really, really is, right? Like it's the Boots theory of capitalism, you know, where I'm mangling it. What's his name? From the Discworld books. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the Pratchett books. Yeah, the Vimes theory, the Sam Vimes, the Boots theory. You know, the idea that like, you know, you can, if you're rich, you can buy nice leather boots, and the leather boots will be very costly, but then will last you your entire life. But if you are poor, then you're expected to buy like boots that are made out of basically paper and paste, and you get them wet and they fall apart after like a year of use. And it turns out then you're just buying new boots every single year, and it's way more expensive in the long run to be poor than it is to have just bought that nice pair of boots in the first place. It really, really does.
I can confirm autocorrect is a Bitcoin law.
Excellent, Nathan. Thank you for the $5 dono. Yes, we blew all our money on avocado toast, indeed. Dr. Sahiba, I live with my parents and destroy my mental health instead of paying rent. That sounds awful, and I'm really sorry. I also lived with my parents for a very long time at deep personal cost to my mental health, so I understand.
Jack, you have proposed something that you're calling Zohran's Law. You think that Mr. Mamdani earns too much to live in his rent-stabilized apartment, though I should note that there are no income tests for rent-stabilized apartments. But critics say your plan would force people to pay too much of their income towards the rent. So if you think Mr. Mamdani is gaming the system, what about the other New Yorkers, thousands of them just like him, who earn similar salaries, who are living in similar apartments?
Okay, just to follow up on what Sally was saying, because she's right. This is not a new plan that the Assemblyman is talking about. It's Bill de Blasio's plan. It was called Freeze the Rent. Bill de Blasio says the mayor can't say legally he's going to freeze the rent. There's a rent guidelines board. There are certain considerations that have to be looked at. You're right, Sally. You can't say today what it's going to be in 4 years. Also, freeze the rent only postpones the rent, because then you have to have an increase to cover the costs. Otherwise, the building is going to go bankrupt. And it does nothing for the majority of renters who aren't in these rent-stabilized units. Does nothing for NYCHA. Does nothing for homeowners. Does nothing for people in black, brown communities who are getting priced out. I was the HUD secretary. I built affordable housing all across this nation. I built affordable housing in this city when I was in my 20s. I know how to get it done. I will get it done. On the rent-stabilized units, what I'm saying is those are the precious units, and we should keep them for the most rent burden.
We have to move on. But I have a question for you.
You aren't answering the question, bitch. Moving on.
No, sorry, he invoked me for much of that question. Just a very brief response here.
Very brief.
You know, you've heard it from Andrew.
And also, like, for those of you who have never heard of this before, yeah, New York City has effectively like an affordable housing lottery. You can actually go and like sign up for it on their like they have like a Housing Connect lottery page that you can sign up for, and it's it's maybe not the best system. Maybe we should not have a lottery system to determine that. Andrew S., thank you for the 5 gifted memberships over on YouTube. Very much appreciated. Hey, you got Dr. Sahiba. You got Zoe Bren. You got Shai Halud. Which, if Shai Halud is watching, it's been a while since I saw you in YouTube chat. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Andrew S. Let's go!
Cuomo, that the number one crisis in this city, the housing crisis, the answer is to evict my wife and I. He thinks you address this crisis by unleashing my landlord's ability to raise my rent. If you think that the problem in this city is that my rent is too low, vote for him. If you know the problem in this city is that your rent is too high, vote for me.
What an excellent fucking comeback. Excellent rhetorical, combat. It's just, he's so good at this. Yeah, no, absolute banger. Absolute banger. If you think the problem is the rent my wife and I pay, vote for him. If you think the problem is that your rent is too damn high, vote for me. That is an absolute bars being spat by this man.
I understand it correctly,
sons of millionaires
your
need
program,
subsidized
Zohran's
housing.
law would not evict Mr. Mamdani.
It would not evict.
It would apply to people applying for apartments.
But the tenant advocates. It would evict.
Right.
No.
Unlike, my understanding is that unlike Andrew Cuomo, Zohran Mamdani was not presented with a silver spoon in his mouth from the second he came out of the womb.
No one.
This does
would
not
be
affect
income limitation.
We have to move on. I have a
Mr.
question
Sliwa.
for Mrs.
This is
Sliwa.
like
Rosarina?
a spat in the schoolyard. Let me suggest.
Mrs.
Can I
Sliwa,
please
Rosarina
ask
has
a
a specific question for you on this.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about affordability
Well, you can
and
use it.
obviously address
Absolutely.
that
Go
issue.
ahead. Yeah.
So you've proposed, Mr. Sliwa, plans that would make a point of talking about the struggle of renters and property owners. Describe your plan to help renters and landlords.
Well, first off, we have 6,000 available apartments that the mayor controls in NYC, and they've been empty for years. That you address, number one. Then we talk about senior citizens who are living here. My whole goal is to improve and not to move. I'm concerned about the seniors, especially those that own homes.
Yeah, no, James Hetfield, 100%. What we're seeing is every single candidate on this stage that's not Zohran Mamdani missing the button prompts and infomercial fumbling their way through this. Meanwhile, Zohran Mamdani is making all of the correct dialogue choices and succeeding on the the skill checks. It's real good. He's doing good.
If they're 65 and make less than $250,000, no property tax, because the property tax is way too high. We need to cut it in half to keep people who are here.
We need to cut it in half, just like I cut in half several Ratmen. From tip to stern, I cut them down, and I promise to cut down the rent in New York City just the same way.
And then in terms of rentals, we have affordable housing that can be built in these huge skyscrapers. You see them all throughout Manhattan and in northern Brooklyn and in Long Island City, which we have 25 Empire State Buildings full of commercial space that will never be occupied for office space. We should be converting them into affordable apartments. They're in dense areas. The infrastructure can support it. I'm the only candidate here who's against the city of yes that would destroy residential neighborhoods.
I have to interrupt you because we have a...
Wait, against the city? What?
Here who's against the city of yes that would destroy residential neighborhoods.
I have to interrupt you because...
The city of yes that would destroy residential neighborhoods? Even the captions couldn't grab that. Is that what he's saying? What did you guys just hear him say? 25 Empire State Buildings full of Ratmen. God, imagine being a new viewer and hearing this. I'm sure some of my content when we're this deep into a debate night is just incomprehensible. He did say the city of yes? Okay.
Because we have a programming moment right now. We're about halfway through the mayoral debate. Channel 4 and Telemundo 47 will return to regular programming, but we got a lot to get to, and you can continue watching live
we
on
do.
NBC News.
Yeah, we do. I think this is an excellent point for us to stop and say, hey, how are we doing? Let's check in. This is probably a good part for us to have a little bit of a break, a little bit of a pause just to check in. How you all doing? Hello, Pander Sarah. Hello. Also, if you guys have been enjoying the show, remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, click the buttons, and also like, comment, and subscribe. You know, do the things that help the show. So far, like, Mamdani's killing it. I've actually, like, I don't think I've seen him get as mad as he's gotten during this debate, but like, it's good. It's good to see him get a little pissed off at like the slanderous attacks from his opponents. I just think this is really cool and neat and interesting, and like, I feel like we're having a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep this going. I'm very confused about the Ratman stuff, but the enthusiasm with the voice acting makes me just roll with it. That's okay. Basically, I just started the Ratman thing as like a one-off bit, like maybe 2 months ago, because we covered Curtis Lewa did an interview with Fox, and we covered it. And dude was just so weird and off-putting throughout the entire thing that like he was talking about like the sewers and talking about like the subway, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like he's down there with like, I don't know, the rat people or something. And then I just started doing like a voice in a bit, and it's just kind of grown from there to him being like this, I don't know, just crazed underdweller that like lives below the city and fights Ratmen, emerging only to, you know, be a doomed prophet for the dangers lurking below. I don't know. I think it's funny, and so I keep doing it. And chat seems to really like it, so I'm a simple being.
On the 6th day Christmas, my dear love gave to me 6 Ratman, 5 Cuomos, 4 Sliwas, 3 moderators, 2 Zordans, and a Mamdani in the mayoral office.
Hell yeah, let's go, Nathan! Thank you for the $5 dono. Oh god, it's just so fucking funny, man. I'm a Ratman fanatic. Hell yeah, 2 dads kissing. It just makes him. He's just so weird. Dude had like. We learned that at one point that man had 17 cats. At one point that man had 17 fucking cats. That's a lot of fucking cats. Oh, it's true. It's a rat king. They killed Raph. I had to avenge him. All right. Enough of that. Also, the lore of the Ratmen that has, like, you know, been unveiled over time heavily implies that Curtis Lee was in the wrong, and the Ratmen are a peace-loving people.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, dating, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.